Donald Trump.
Everything woke turns to shit.
If I'm not the man, if I'm not the one picked in 24, there will be depression and a winter of death.
What?
Well, he didn't say winter of death, but he did say depression. So there you go. I'm Jazz Berganza on this.
What?
Where do you draw your strength from? We're talking about faith.
Probably the biggest question I get, one is, how do you do it? One of the reasons is that I have the highest poll numbers.
What the fuck?
It's what's next. What's up, everyone? I'm Jazz Berganza. What's next? Your daily dose. Hope you guys are feeling good today as we are in the final weekend of 2023. Well, there's been a lot of shenanigans going on in the political scene, especially when it comes to one Donald Trump. The continuous nonsensical indictments. And of course, a number of states have said, well, you being on the ballot, that's going to be a problem. Well, Donald Trump says, if I'm not the man in 24, if I'm not the one, there's going to be a depression and a winter of death. Well, he didn't say winter of death. That was Joe Dementia, but he did say depression. So there we go. And here we go. This comes out of Breitbart. Exclusive. Donald Trump, depression like 1929 looms if I don't win. Palm Beach. Former President Donald Trump told Breitbart News exclusively on Thursday evening that he does not win the 24. If he's not the man, he expects the nation's economy will spiral into depression, the likes we haven't seen since 1929. That's huge, especially after coming off of 2008. Okay. Trump, who sat with Breitbart News for more than 2 hours on Thursday evening at his Mar-a-Lago resort, said during the interview that recent stock market gains are happening because the polls show him, my polls, look at the polls, show him leading Democratic Joe Dementia significantly, and people are betting on a Trump victory in November. Quote, I think if I don't win, we're going to have a depression like 1929, Trump told Breitbart News. I think the reason that the stock market is up because if you look at the polls, look at my polls, people say I'm going to win. Dementia is getting lucky in that regard. I had a phenomenal stock market. Everything was going good for an economy. We had no inflation. But then a little something called COVID happened. And we'll talk about that later. Trump is correct about the stock market booming right now. According to CNBC on Friday, the last trading day of 2023, the market closed out the year by climbing to the 9th straight week, ending the month, quarter, and year with gains. And it had nothing to do with Joe Dementia. Quote, stocks fell slightly on Friday. Stocks fell slightly on Friday, but the S&P 500 closed out with 2023 with a surprising gain of 24% as inflation slowed. The economy remained strong, and the Federal Reserve signaled the end of its rate hiking campaign, according to CNBC's Samantha Serban. Trump told Breitbart News that while the inflation has cooled somewhat in recent months, he thinks that it's done so because of the broader economy is in trouble, and that the jobs numbers are, quote, fake, because he said millions of people are sitting on the sidelines and not even looking for jobs. The inflation has eaten up any gains, Trump said. The inflation is so rampant. The inflation has calmed down a little bit, but that's because the economy's not good. The job numbers are fake because millions of people are not looking for jobs. Trump's comments came during a section of the interview where Breitbart News asked him why he thinks many in the establishment media are aggressively attacking him as, quote, authoritarian, and with some even going as far as ludicrously comparing him to German dictator. Yes, that would be one Adolf. Asked why he thinks they're doing that, Trump said it's because they have nothing else. Quote, they have nothing to campaign on. Trump said the Democrats pushing the authoritarian claim in the media. The country is a disaster. Inflation has eaten up everything. There's a new narrative. I'm telling you the reason the stock market's up right now is because people think I'm going to win the election. Yes, look at my polls. That's coming out right big right now. They're saying that the stock market's up because people think I'm going to win the election, and that's happening by a lot. Since the interview with Breitbart, Trump has pushed a similar message predicting the, quote, Great Depression if he does not win in 24 on Truth Social to his millions of followers there. Yeah, look it up yourself. I'm not going to bother to read it. Recent polling numbers in Morning Consult show that majority of American voters, 50%, view Trump as the more trusted candidate between him and Joe Dementia to handle the economy. Biden clocks in at just 32, 18 worse than Donald Trump. I've done multiple videos in regards to Trump versus DeSantis, and the reason why I think DeSantis is better from a policy standpoint. Trump is right on one thing. When it comes to the economy, how he did the first 3 years, they were damn good. Damn good. Unemployment was low. Unemployment for blacks and women were low. unemployments for whites were low. He had significant gains in the stock market each of those 3 years. But I've said before, and I will continue to say again, 3 years does not make a term make. The 4th year was critical. And the 4th year, in combination with the pandemic, the Chinese virus, the wonderful summer of love, and then, of course, the nonsensical shenanigans, Fraudenschneid, of the 2020 election, spell Trump's doom. Now, Trump says, I'm the only one who can get us out of this. No, he's not the only one who can get us out of this. He can't. Not one man can get us out of this rut, this hole, this crater that we're currently in. Only him. He's the only one that can get us out. And if we don't put faith in him, then we are doomed. But it's just me. But when it comes to Trump, is that Trump will continue to applaud himself, pat himself on the back on how great the first 3 years were. He doesn't mention COVID. He doesn't mention COVID year. Like that year 4 didn't exist. He basically had 3 years and they got screwed. And here we are now. No. The fact of the matter is that between the indictments and between now multiple states, not just one, Colorado and now Maine, who have kept them off the ballot, there's going to be more. I've said in a prior video that California and other West Coast states and East Coast states would not be surprised, Maine, that they've kept them on the ballot. Of course, it's going to be ended at the Supreme Court. SCOTUS is going to be the final arbiter and whether this thing continues to go forward or they're just going to stop it right here and right now and say, you know what? This is bullshit. You guys are out on a witch hunt to try to keep them off. But then again, let me go back to the indictments. All he needs is one to stick. That's it. I've said it before. One to stick before he's sitting in Mar-a-Lago with an ankle bracelet, unable to run for the presidency of the United States. And Joe Dementia will be laughing all the way if he survives that long, which that's a 50-50 shot at this point. But the man has still not confessed to the damage that was done during COVID year. We've had numerous injuries, numerous heart attacks, myocarditis. We've had those severe allergic reactions to the wonderful magical vax. In a story that I'm going to do later regarding 2 athletes who had some issues, and of course they were just coincidence. But again, I will go back to DeSantis. His 4 years, policies were solid, rock solid. I mean, he was based. I mean, he was going after anybody and everybody who tried to push the woke bullshit nonsense down the throats of Floridians. And he was, and let me point this out, that he was the only one during the midterms who came up smelling like roses while everybody else was pushing up weeds. And a lot of those were supported by one former president, Donald Trump. And with that being said, I'm Jazz Berganzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more like this? Please have a comment below. Like it, share, subscribe to it, hit that notification bell so you guys know it's a thing. Help us to continue to grow this channel, spread the word, and we'll see you next time. Peace.